don't bring pomo or wele to Canada, because if you are caught, so I know that when you are coming to Canada or any other country outside of your home country, you are very excited and you're also anxious about what's available and what is not. You want to be as prepared as possible, right? And you are likely to want to bring all your favorite things. But in this video, I'm going to tell you the essential things that you should bring and what you should not bring, because if you are caught, you either be fined or you may face other charges. So let's talk about the most controversial one. food, right? When you're moving, you're thinking, especially for us, we like pepper a lot, and like the food doesn't have pepper. Will I get will I get all the foods that I love to eat so much? Yam, ripe plantain, all the stews and soups that you like. Let's talk about cooked food first. Allow to bring in cooked food in your hand luggage when you are traveling on the airline, but make sure that it is not liquids, and make sure that you do not exceed the quantities that have been shown by your airline. And when you are traveling with food on the airline, you have to make sure that you are using the sealable transparent containers that can prevent leak. That's why you shouldn't bring things that are liquid, like you're bringing soup or stews that have a lot of oil and can spill. You can bring in I brought in rice and some pastries for my kids, right? So you can pack rice dishes, pastries, fried foods, finger foods that your kids or yourself you can eat. If you're bringing stew, make sure that there's not so much oil on it that it can spill and soil your clothes or your bag and then make a whole mess. You can bring a few quantities for you and your family, either to eat on board or while you are transiting, right? So these are things that you can carry, and ensure that you do not also include meat products. Some people get away with it, but a lot of the airlines do not allow you to carry meat products, right? So this is just a short flight. Bring finger food, some rice dishes or fried foods that you can enjoy with your family and keep your children full for the duration of the flight. Things like biscuits, cakes, fried yam, fried plantain, all those things, jollof. You can pack them nicely in those sealable bowls and then pack them tightly in your handbag, your backpack, or your hand luggage, right? And then you can enjoy them in the plane. Ensure that you are not carrying water or certain things that are liquid onto the flight, because it will not be allowed. You can carry a water bottle. I carried a water bottle for my kids so that when they were giving juice or water on the flight, you could pour it in it and then they wouldn't have to spill in the flight and all that. Now, food that you can put in your travel luggage. You can actually carry food in your travel luggage. I carried stew in my travel luggage, right? So what I did was I got these bigger transparent bowls, about 1 liter. I think they're about 1 liter, 1.5 liter in size. Made my stews. I made about 3 types of stews, and then I froze them over 1 month. Yes, you have to freeze them for a very long time so that they are really frozen. And the flight is cold, right? So it's like when we got here, it was very cold, and it was about a 21-hour trip, and it was still frozen. Freeze the food sealable container. Once you take it out, you wrap it in bubble wrap tightly, and then you add your freezer bags, right? And then put it in a lunch bag, insulated lunch bag. You can put the insulated lunch bag in the freezer to cool a bit before you pack the food, right? And then you seal it nicely, and then you put it in your travel luggage, right? But make sure that you are declaring it. So things that you shouldn't put in the stew, maybe meat products, all those, because they will ask you, right? So once it's cooked and it's for your personal use, usually for foods that are personal use, there's the allowed quantity. So ensure that you do not go over these allowed quantities. So you can bring these things. You can bring maybe, let's say, rice dishes, maybe jollof, but you've frozen it, right? So it's not going to spill and pour in other people's luggages and there's oil all over the place, right? You can do this, especially for the first few days that you are coming. You are not sure what is available for you, what your kids are going to eat when you wake up. You can do all those things and freeze them up nicely and bring them. Let's talk about things that you are not allowed to bring. I know people will say, but people bring them all the time. Why are you saying we shouldn't bring them? Well, if you get caught, you are likely to be fined up to 1,300 Canadian, and you don't want that, right? Or you may not know what other sanctions that will be placed on you. Usually, if you declare these goods and they are found out, you will not be fined, but they will be confiscated, right? But if you do not declare them, they will be confiscated and you'll be fined as well. Some people are lucky to go through immigration without being asked or being checked. But the question is, do you want to take this risk? What we call pomo or wele in Ghana, right? Any fresh meat, whether pork, chicken, beef, make sure you are not bringing it into the country. You are not bringing fresh fruits and vegetables. You are not bringing dairy or any milk products like Nido, Milo, all those things. Some people, like I said, some people get to take it through, but it is a risk, and it's up to you if you are willing to take it or not, right? So do not bring these things in. But if you have a baby and you are bringing baby food, right, like Cerelac or baby formula, you are feeding your baby, so those are allowed and within certain quantities. You have to visit the Canada Border Services website and make sure that you are within all the allowed quantities for personal use. Anything with meat or meat byproducts is not allowed. So these things are legally not allowed. Okay, so you need to bear these things in brain. Goat meat, dried goat meat, cow meat, all the spices from Ghana or Nigeria, jollof spice, all those things. Please make sure that you are reading from the border services before you bring them in. Yes, again, people bring them, but ensure that you are bringing the right quantities and the right items so that you are stopped at immigration, questioned, and then have your items confiscated. These things, when you come, you can get them over here. Yes, they are more expensive over here, but which do you prefer? Do you want to be fined and made to wait so long at the immigration because of all these things you are carrying, right? Because they do not want you to bring in meat and all those things in case of diseases and cross contamination and all that. They have their own reasons, right? So you need to abide by the rules. So if you enjoyed the information so far, don't forget to subscribe. More content on Canada living and how to make your relocation to Canada easy. So now let's move to electronics and home essentials, right? One very important thing you need to bring is a universal adapter, because the sockets here in Canada are different from what we have in Nigeria or Ghana or any other West African country, right? Most of their sockets are 2 pins or 3 pins, but they're designed differently, right? So you need to make sure you're coming with a universal adapter if most of your gadgets cannot fit into the sockets in Canada. And also don't forget to carry headphones or any gadgets that would help keep you busy whilst you are on transit, right? Or for your kids, if they have their tablets, that can keep them busy a little bit. Not that they'll be on it the whole time, but that can keep them busy a little bit whilst you are waiting for your next flight if you are transiting. Like I mentioned, if you are bringing food, of course you may want to bring a few dishware, like some 1 or 2 plates and cutlery, or things to drink from for your kids and for yourself. Like if you bring rice, you would want to have some place to eat from, right? Especially the first few days that you come in. If you're going to an Airbnb, they may have dishware, but then your personal preference, you may not want to eat from somebody's dishware, right? So it's good to come with your own. If you're at a hotel, it's the same. If you're lucky to come straight into your home, it's good to have some dishware so that you can eat your food. If you're coming with kids, yes, you are parking to a new place and you might want to leave a lot of things behind, but you can bring 1 or 2 of their favorite toys, books to read, to keep them engaged, especially the first few days when there's a lot to organize and parents are busy. You want to have some favorite toys or books or activity books for them to engage with. And of course, if you're coming with a baby or a toddler, you may want to come with as much diapers as possible, right, to help you be prepared for anything that can happen, whether on the flight or when you first arrive. The thing that you want to consider when you're moving to Canada, of course, is clothing, especially if you're coming from a warmer climate to Canada where it's cold, especially if you're coming in winter. Currently we are in winter and it's very cold, so if you're landing anywhere between October to March, it's very cold, it's winter, and then spring starts in April, and then we have summer following up with fall. So if you are coming in winter, what should you bring? It's very likely that if you are not coming from a colder climate and you are getting winter clothing from your home country, you are likely to get winter clothing that may not be very well suited to Canada winter. Winter is very cold. It's not like maybe in the UK where you can experience -2. Canada can get as cold as -30 to -40. So when you are coming, you can bring what you can find, but it's very likely that if you're coming from a warmer climate, when you get here, you might need to shop some other things to supplement what you have, right? You need to get winter jackets that are very thick, that are windproof, because sometimes it comes with we have a lot of wind here, so that's our windproof and that's our waterproof, because when the snow falls on you and it melts, of course, it's water. So if your winter jacket is the one that is made of fabric that is not water resistant, you'll be found wanting, right? So you need to get winter jackets that are waterproof. But before the winter jacket, you need to get base wears, what we call a thermal wear. You usually wear that first in winter before you wear your mid layer, which can be like what we call fleece or sweaters, and then you put on your winter jacket. So you need to get your base wear with a thermal wear, and then get your mid layer, and then you get your winter jacket, right? You also need to get winter boots, especially if you are going to provinces that are very cool like Alberta. You need to get your winter boots which are slip proof, so you have to look at the bottoms and make sure that the lines there are really grooved and can hold you. If you are walking in the snow, they have to be knee high for the best comfort, right? They have to be insulated to keep you warm. So like I said, if you are coming from a place that is warmer, you are likely to find a few of these things and then come into Canada and buy them, because the Canada ones, you see that they've written the temperatures that are fit for. So if you are buying winter boots, you see that they've written fit for -30. Or if you are buying a winter jacket, you also see that they've written fit for -40. You can also buy them from some online shops, which I did. So like Mountain Warehouse. You can also shop maybe online at Walmart or Canadian Superstore or Costco, right? So these are places that when you come, you can shop at. You can physically go to Costco or Walmart or Old Navy and get some of these jackets. They are very high-end ones like Canada Goose, right? You can explore them depending on what your budget is when you land. But if you're coming in winter, you may have to come with some of these things, right? If you're in a country where you have access to shopping on Amazon and have it delivered to you, you can shop on Amazon for them before you arrive, so that when you get to the airport, you're already warm before you come in. You also need to get accessories like gloves, neck gaiters, and if you're coming with kids, make sure you're getting all these things for them. Hats, to cover your ears. Those are very important, because in Canada winter, if you expose your hands, you're going to get frostbite. So you have to make sure that you're getting all these accessories if you are coming in winter. So come prepared. If you're coming from West Africa, you can come with your shea butter, which is very good because you need to moisturize. You need to moisturize in winter. The weather is really dry. You need to get some moisturizers for your skin, something that has a lot of oil in it. The issue is that with shea butter, sometimes it can freeze, so you need to find the ones that are whipped and you can easily use them for yourself. You're coming with family, for your kids, you need to get maybe lip balm. For the guys, you can use Vaseline for your lips so that your lips are not cracked and bleeding. You need to really come prepared for the winter, right? It's not just about keeping warm, but also keeping your skin and your hair healthy and prevent cracking. Like I mentioned, you are coming in spring, summer or fall, you do not have to get your winter outfits. When you come here and it's close to winter, you can buy all these things. But if you're coming in spring, you usually will need maybe your joggers, your jeans, some sweatshirts, hoodies, raincoats, umbrellas. Sneakers is fine, and off you go, right? So you don't really have to bother about wearing high heels or anything like that. If you are coming and you feel that you may want to go out once in a while, you can get some high heels, that you want to go out with, and you can also bring in some professional outfits for when you have interviews or you have networking events. You can bring some fancy outfits. If you have to go to church, right, and then you want to really look nice, you can bring some nice outfits. But the advice is that don't pack too many of this. I know that you have all these beautiful outfits that you want to bring to Canada, but the truth is that you may not need them immediately, and also you may end up packing them and adding too much weight to your luggage when you could have packed other essential things. So you can take 1 or 2 of these things. If you have kids, 1 or 2 of them. When you come initially and you find your feet, you can get some of these things. So my advice is not to pack too many of your fancy clothes and all that. If you are coming, yes, you would go to work and all that, so get a few of that, for your initial days when you start working or when you're looking for jobs, to get you going, but do not pack too many of that. So that is it for spring. You get your sneakers and off you go. You get your backpack and you are off. You have your umbrella, your raincoat, and your joggers and your sweatshirts. I personally prefer joggers because they are warmer compared to jeans that can really get cold easy. So that's the tip. Do not bring a lot of jeans. You are coming in winter, jeans will get cold. Advisedly bring a lot of joggers. Those are warmer. We have these joggers that are lined, right? Not the very light ones, the ones that are lined with fleece, and those will keep you warm. Now summer, if you're coming from a warm climate, summer is like however you have it, whether you're in Nigeria, you're in Ghana, you're in Kenya, any African country or any Caribbean country, it's warm. You have your shorts, you have your jeans, you have your t-shirts, and you are good to go. You have your sunglasses or some sunscreen if it gets too warm, right? So for summer, it's like you're every day in the tropical country. So with that, you are good to go. You can pack some of your outfits that you have from home that you already love, so that when you come, you're not spending too much on clothing, right? Pack some sneakers, and some light footwear to go. If you have kids, the clothing that they have already, you can bring it, because when they start school, they will need them, right? So especially when you're coming with kids, no matter the season you're coming in, you may need to get a few clothes that are suitable for the season you are coming in, so that when they come and they're starting school, for the first few days when they are starting, they can wear them whilst you find appropriate clothing for them, right? So these are some of the things that you have to take in consideration. Now when you're coming in fall weather can be warm sometimes, and then it's cold and all that, so you need a light jacket. So with fall, you don't really need to get the waterproof jacket, and maybe they're lined a bit and it can keep you warm. So if you can find some in your home country, fantastic. If you have access to online stores like Amazon in your home country, you can shop them and bring them in, right? And maybe get some more suitable ones when you arrive in Canada. So for fall, you need a light jacket. You definitely need a jacket, because sometimes like 15 degrees, so it can get pretty cold. So that's it for the weather and for clothing. You can decide to buy some new things because you are moving and you don't want to come with your old stuff. It's all dependent on you and what your budget is. So now let's have an initial video where I spoke about medications that you can bring. You can bring your prescription medications, but within a certain limited quantity, and you need prescription for your doctor. So ensure that whatever your medications you are bringing, you have prescription from your doctor, unless it's first aid that you are coming with for your family. You do not need a prescription for that. You also find out on the Canada Border Services website medications that you can bring that you are not required to come with a prescription. Okay, so you can check out that video and see all the things that you can bring. Now let's talk about the essential documents that you have to bring once you are coming. Of course, you are carrying your passport with your visa. If you are coming as a permanent resident, ensure that you have your co-PR with you, hard copies, and you have scanned them also onto your phone or onto a cloud like Google Drive or any of those other storage services. Okay, so you carry all these things in your hand luggage. Do not pack them in your luggage. If you're a student, ensure that you are coming with your admission letter, your proof of payment of your school fees, provincial attestation letter, right? You are coming, if you are transiting from one place, maybe you are transiting in Toronto and you are going to Nova Scotia, ensure that you have your flight ticket to show that you are going to Nova Scotia. Ensure that you have your accommodation. Maybe if you are going to a hostel, you have all those things with you. If you are coming as PR, yes, you have your co-PR, and ensure that you have your proof of funds with you. You have the password to your banking app, just in case they ask you to open your banking app for them to see how much you have been tapping to people. So ensure that you have all those things with you. Make sure they are on you. You have your birth certificates, your marriage certificates. If you are coming with your spouse, ensure that you have all those things with you. Whenever they want any information, you have it readily available. You have your school certificates, your transcripts, your employment history, your resume. All those things should be in your hand luggage or your backpack. Do not pack them in your travel luggage that is in storage, because one, your travel luggage can get lost, or they may need you to show them something at the immigration, and then you now have to go and find your luggage and rummage through it to find what you are looking for. So make sure that they are all handy. You have the original copies, you have photocopies, and then you have the digital copies as well. With these few things, I hope that you have found them useful and to make your relocation smooth, pack wise and smart, to make your journey easy, and especially for the first few days to be comfortable for you. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notifications so that you do not miss any videos from me. Thank you for watching.